Cooking for one person can be such a big challenge, but you don't have to sacrifice great meals just because you're all on your own. This week, my guys are away and I'm here solo, getting some things done and cooking for one. Tonight, I am going to make a great vegetarian entree. This is not vegan, it's vegetarian. I am not a vegetarian, but I try to emphasize vegetables in my diet as much as possible. So I had one little leftover portabella mushroom from a dinner we had before the guys left. And I have a tiny little bit of leftover orzo. And so I'm going to take that orzo, mix it with a few other magic things, stuff that portabella mushroom, pop it in the oven for 15 minutes, and have a delicious, gorgeous, healthy dinner. You can make this meal with any grain, but I happen to have a little bit of orzo left over, about a half a cup. I have one portabella mushroom, some fresh basil, a fresh hot pepper, about 2 tablespoons of chopped up almonds, 1 clove of garlic, and 1 little tomato left over. I also have some Parmesan cheese, some olive oil, salt, and pepper. First thing I'm going to do is put a little bit of olive oil into that orzo. I'm not measuring. I just want to make sure that this is good and moist. I'm also going to add the salt and the pepper now. So I'm going to chop up that hot pepper. This happens to be a ají chinchín amarillo, which is a Peruvian pepper. You don't have to use a hot pepper. I just want to add a little bit of hot into my meal here. I'm also going to chop up my tomato. Now, you don't have to use a tomato. I'm using a tomato. This just happens to be one of my late tomatoes that I picked from the garden. I don't have many out there now because we've had a frost, but I do like to cook from my gardens. Cut off the gnarly bits there. This is a late tomato. If you don't have tomatoes that are fresh, if you happen to have a sun-dried tomato sitting around, you can throw that in. That moisture is going to be a great thing for this dish. At this point, I'm just going to give that a little mix so nothing gets too stuck together. You can use any grain with this. I just happen to have a little leftover orzo. Chop up that pepper. I need to chop up that garlic. Just mince it up. If you don't like garlic, just leave it out. This is really one of those things that you can just kind of put together as you wish. I'm going to chop the basil. This is going to be a basil forward dish. You could also use parsley if you prefer, but I want that punch of the basil. And plus, I had just a little bit of basil still left before the frost, and I picked it. I want to use it. I'm going to put all of these things into the bowl. Once everything's in there, I'm just going to give it a good mix up. And you know what? I'm going to put a little bit more olive oil in there. And salt and pepper. Pepper and some salt. Now I'm going to add some Parmesan cheese. You can add any cheese you like. I happen to have Parmesan. I'm adding about a couple tablespoons in here. This is cooking for one. You can easily scale up this recipe. And I'm just going to put this on top, mound it up on top of the portabella. If it falls down, that's okay. If you have extra, that's okay. Just eat it. You're going to pop this in the oven 400 degrees for about 15 minutes. It'll be nice and bubbly. Then just serve it with a simple salad or a side of veg. It's going to be perfect. Cooking for one doesn't have to be boring or uninteresting. Just think about how you can stretch your ingredients and mix them up in many different ways throughout the week, and you'll be golden. Bon appetit, y'all. Oh, it's going to be so good. Really nice. I love mushrooms. Just serve your portabella with a green salad or some side vegetable. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're well. Take care. Bye. Oh, and check back for more cooking for one recipes. Or 2.